I'm going to call this video 80%. 80% of the targeted individual's existence after the first initial traumatization in the strategy of gang stalking is anticipation, is paranoia. And they design it that way for a reason. There's not a whole lot of videos out online that will give, really conclusive evidence of gang stalking. And it's for a reason. Targeted individuals are sent messages, then they're attacked heavily, and then the strategy changes. Okay? It becomes one of, guerrilla warfare almost. You never know when it's going to happen. You never know what it's going to be. And it's always going to be a lot more obscure and covert than the trauma that, got the targeted individual paranoid and let them know that they were playing this game to begin with. It's just designed that way. It's the perfect crime. It's a damn good strategy because, now the targeted individual is they have to deal with their own mind now. Yeah, you're going to have attacks. Yeah, you're going to have street theater. Yeah, you're going to have all these things. But what are you going to do in the meantime? What are you going to do when you're sitting there at night all by yourself, wondering when? When is it going to happen again? What's going to happen at work tomorrow? How am I going to find a spouse? How am I going to get the things that I wanted in life now? What am I going to do? Who's going to believe me? I'm alone. Now what? And they want you to ferment. They want you to stew. They want you to sit around and think about this stuff and try to process the information. A lot of disinformation out there. And they want you to try and figure out how you can control something that's completely out of your control. And in the meantime, you're going to be going down memory lane, all those negative emotions and negative experiences. You're going to be going into the future trying to figure out how to fix everything. And you're going to be getting frustrated because you can't control what other people do. And if you even dare try to tell somebody about this stuff, you're going to be in that never-ending circular conversation. And you're probably going to run into one of those people, well, what are you going to do about it? And, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to have to deal with it. That's just the way it is for targeted individuals. There are things you can do. I'm not saying there aren't things you can do. You can make protocols in your life so you don't have to sit around and try to figure out what you're going to do next and process all that information and drive yourself crazy. You can put up a security system and, stop maybe the noise campaigns of somebody slamming their car door 50 million times outside your window or whatever. And that's a problem for these guys too, by the way. One of the biggest things about gang stalking is that, it's got to be something that you can't prove. If you can prove it, it doesn't work for them because, the whole idea is to be covert, to be hidden, and to discredit the targeted individual, make everybody think they're crazy. The last thing they want to do is, act out in front of a body cam or a security system or something like that and, prove not only to the person that they're trying to gaslight that it's real, but to other people who might listen to them. And that's why it's hard to get evidence because they change the attacks. But there are things you can do. Okay? Make no mistake. And, the dangerous thing about making protocols and not reacting, which is really the only thing you can do, by the way, is that sometimes it steps up because, it's not acceptable for the targeted individual to just modify their life and keep rolling with the punches and not reacting because they wanted a reaction. They want you to go crazy. They want you, to freak out and hurt yourself or somebody else or do something crazy or get addicted to drugs or whatever. They want that. And if they're not getting it, that's a problem. And you're pushing them. How bad do you want it? What would you do for a Klondike bar, right? And sometimes, they'll screw up. And they certainly won't be able to gaslight you, whether it's street theater or something else. If they got to come up and be ridiculous, you're not going to be sitting around wondering, was that an attack? Are these people gang stalking me? You're going to know what's going on. You're going to see that it's obvious. And, I've mentioned that before. Developing protocols, not reacting, it's a powerful methodology to deal with stalkers, with people who are trying to get a reaction, who are trying to drive you crazy, who want you to sit around and stew about these things. If you got a security system, you don't have to jump up and run outside with your camera phone and try and get evidence. You can, because, there's a good chance that they've got cameras in your house. They can see you reacting, or they're going to know some other way. And at that point, that's all they wanted. They just wanted to ruffle your feathers. They wanted to get you going. And, if you're like that person who just sits there and doesn't react, that's going to bother them. That's going to totally throw their whole game off. Make no mistake. And, that's the most powerful thing you can do. If you're getting attacked at work, we'll say people are messing with your lunch or whatever, get one of those lunch boxes that you can lock up. That's a protocol. Guess what? You don't have to worry about it. If you put up the security system, you don't have to worry about it. If you're wearing a body cam, you don't have to worry about it. Right? If they're going to start messing with you at work when you got a body cam, they're going to have to be pretty sneaky. And at that point, you're going to have some control. Okay, you are. And as far as just what you're thinking about, you're going to have to develop that protocol in your mental, thinking that when this stuff comes up, you're going to have to remember there is not a whole lot you can do about it, and let the blame fall where it needs to be. For whatever reason these people are doing this stuff, they're in the wrong. That's the first thing you got to remember. Because a lot of people get gaslighted and they sit around and think they've done something wrong. They start believing the messages that are being sent to them, and they start, buying into this campaign to bring condemnation to the targeted individual, and they start feeling guilty, or they go, into other areas of speculation. Well, it's got to be because of this. It's got to be because of that. No, they're just wrong. They're just plain wrong, and these people are, they're losing. You need to remember that. That needs to be one of the first things in your mind. Do these people have the right to do this? No. Is it justified? No. Is it in line with the Word of God? No. Okay, well, that takes care of quite a bit right there. Because, a lot of people don't figure that out, and then they receive that condemnation, and they start to feel guilty, they start to feel the shame, they start to feel the pressure, and they buy the lie. That's what they want. They're always going to be wrong. Okay, and when that mental tangent starts, you need to try and you need to try and focus on something else. It's a good opportunity for self-improvement. And the fact that you're not going to have a whole lot of people to talk to is going to be a problem too. Okay, so you're going to have a need to deal with this thing, to be, vocal about it. You're going to have the need to, have some type of communication about this, but you know what? You're going to have to be smart about that. You don't want to be drawn into that circular conversation because you can't control what other people do. And you're not going to be able to convince people who haven't experienced this kind of thing that it's true. It's that simple. It really is. It is. So, you're going to have 80% of your life that you're going to have to deal with this stuff. You're going to have to deal with the paranoia. You're going to have to forgive yourself for reading into things. You're going to have to, forgive yourself for reacting to, the trauma-based stimuli that's coming at you, for being paranoid. Write it off. Don't worry about it. You're going to have to, let some things go that you were aspiring to, at least for a while. There's some things that are, they're gonna be off, your plate. There may have been some things that you were going to try to do that you're not going to be able to do now. Well, you're going to have to put them on the back burner and just forget about it. Don't worry about it. Don't get stressed out about it. A lot of times when, God says no, or things get taken, out of the way, it's for you to get better. It's so that you can focus on something else. Sometimes, all the time, actually, when God says no, it's for your own good. So whatever you're dealing with, if you're asking God for help, that's going to work out in your favor. That's what the Word of God says. All things work out for those who love God. So, He can work this stuff out. You have to believe that. You have to know it. You have to understand that sovereignty. So, there's a lot of things that, you can do, like I said, as far as protocols and as far as, just dealing with what you're thinking about and not reacting, that are going to put you in control as much as possible. And you're going to have the upper hand, in my opinion. Guys, be good to yourselves. Be safe.